B&B's The Rinse. Lee invites Poppy to dinner on November 18th and surprises her with a roast. On The Bold and the Beautiful, Tuesday, November 18th, 2025, Lee invited Poppy out to dinner at Il Giardino. She wasn't there to reconcile with her sister. She just wanted to roast Poppy about Luna. Key takeaways. Luna broke out of jail, and she's already at the beach house. Lee met up with Poppy for dinner. The sister finally addressed Poppy's history with Finn. Their conversation shifted to Luna and whether her mom is to blame. B&B roast of Poppy. Naomi Matsuda met up with Poppy, Romy Park, who gushed about Kimberlin Brown, at Il Giardino. She was not interested in making nice. She wanted to roast her sister for having a daughter like Luna, Lisa Yamada. It didn't take Lee long to blame Poppy for Luna's instability. They finally brought up Poppy's inappropriate relationship with Finn, Tanner Novlin, when he was 18. Lee still couldn't believe that Finn was Luna's father. Then, Lee asked Poppy if she had seen her daughter, and Poppy admitted she hadn't. Poppy wondered how Luna came from her at all since they were so different. She no longer saw Luna as her daughter. Luna felt dead to Poppy, even if Luna technically is not dead anymore. Deacon, Sean Cannon, overheard their conversation and admitted that it was a harsh thing for a mother to say about her daughter. Luna is her flesh and blood, no matter what. Poppy told Deacon he probably felt the same after what Luna did to his friends. Deacon admitted that Luna wasn't even sorry for what she's done. He missed his friends every day, but Luna never gives them a second thought. Who's to blame? Lee claimed that Poppy was to blame for what happened to Luna. However, Deacon argued that she shouldn't blame her sister. Luna was the one who committed these crimes, not her mother. He had a point. Deacon was also right about Luna's feelings. She sat in her jail cell, thinking about Will, Crew Morrow. She didn't think about what she had done. Luna never felt sorry or remorseful for 1 second she spent behind those bars. Instead, Luna thought she had to break free from jail so she could have a life with Will. In the end, Luna's to blame for the crimes and misdeeds she's caused. She ended up at the beach house, where she came face to face with Will. As he threatened to call the police, she begged him not to. Luna told Will that she wanted to have a relationship with him. She just wanted to be loved. Luna had a mom who had loved her until she became a cold-blooded killer. Additionally, Luna has 2 grandmothers who adore her. Sure, her father wanted nothing to do with her, but that's not the worst thing that ever happened to a person. Additionally, Poppy's conversation with Lee could foreshadow a deadly event about to unfold. Luna is on the loose, which means everyone's lives are in danger. Could Poppy end up in her daughter's crosshairs? The fog over Los Angeles had rolled in early that November evening, softening the glow of the city lights and leaving a faint shimmer on the windows of Lee Finnegan's apartment. She had spent the last hour polishing the glass table, aligning silverware with the precision of a surgeon, and checking on the roast in the oven at least every 5 minutes. She wasn't nervous, at least that's what she told herself, but her hands betrayed her, fluttering from candle to napkin to water glass, as if searching for something else to perfect. Tonight mattered, more than she'd ever admit aloud. Poppy Nozawa had said yes to dinner. And, for reasons Lee still couldn't quite understand, that simple yes had made the November air feel warmer, lighter, almost spring-like. 1. A new chapter, served medium rare. The roast was nearly done. Lee cracked open the oven door, letting a wave of fragrant steam roll into her spotless kitchen. She'd chosen the recipe carefully: slow-cooked beef, seasoned with rosemary and citrus, a touch of soy, a whisper of ginger. A blend of tradition and experimentation. Familiar and daring. Much like the woman it was intended for. She checked the clock, 6:48 p.m. Poppy would arrive any minute. Lee took a breath and steadied herself. She had faced medical crises, family feuds, and situations that required much more bravery than hosting dinner. And yet this, the simple anticipation of a shared meal, had ignited a jittery excitement she wasn't sure how to control. The doorbell rang. Lee's heart executed a full gymnastics routine. She smoothed her blouse, took a final glance around the apartment, and went to answer. 2. Poppy, wrapped in November light. Poppy stood in the hallway like she belonged to a different season, warm, effervescent, wrapped in a cinnamon-colored coat and smiling as though the world were conspiring in her favor. She held a tiny bouquet of autumn flowers, vivid oranges and reds that looked like captured sunset. "For you," Poppy said, lifting the bouquet. "Thought it might brighten up your evening." Lee accepted the flowers with both hands. "They already have." For a second, their eyes held, two women standing in the soft hum of the hallway light, connected by something neither of them had yet named. Then Poppy dipped her head bashfully. "So, may I come in? Or are you planning to admire me from the doorway all night?" Lee stepped aside instantly. "Please. And thank you for coming. I'm glad you're here." Poppy entered, adding a spark of life to the tidy stillness of the apartment. 3. The table, the roast, and the unspoken. "Lee, this is beautiful." Poppy circled the dining table like she'd discovered a hidden gallery. The white candles glowed gently along the center, their flames steady and elegant. Crystal glasses caught the light. Soft instrumental music played in the background, something classical, dignified, but mellow enough to blend into the warmth of the room. "I wanted it to be nice," Lee said, downplaying the hours she had spent curating every detail. "It's more than nice," Poppy countered. "It feels intentional." Lee blinked. "Intentional?" "You know," Poppy lowered her voice, almost conspiratorially. "Like you didn't just toss a meal together." Lee's lips twitched upward. "I certainly did not just toss this together." "And you cooked," Poppy added. "For me." "Yes," Lee said. "For you." There it was again, the unspoken, shimmering between them like a candle flame. Lee cleared her throat. "Let me get the roast." As she moved to the kitchen, Poppy followed, leaning against the counter as she watched Lee remove the pan from the oven. "That smells incredible." "I hope it tastes the same," Lee said. "Oh, I'm sure it will," Poppy replied. "Everything you do is precise. Thoughtful. Kind of intimidating, honestly." Lee paused, startled. "Intimidating?" "In a good way," Poppy said gently. You have a presence." Lee wasn't sure what to do with that. She focused on slicing the roast, arranging the plate. Her hands steadied. Her pulse did not. Poppy's presence felt like sunlight in the room, soft, warm, impossible to ignore.